It's been a crazy week. My name is Mojos Ke and welcome back to yet another amazing video. Starting off, we are going straight to Madagascar. Yes, Madagascar is an island, a former French colony. Remember, there's been a lot of protests by the Gen Zs in lots and lots of countries around the world. Seeing what was happening in the UK, Italy, Kenya, in Uganda, in Nigeria, and other countries, even Morocco. Madagascar is a very poor country, by the way. If you didn't know, 2 out of 4 people lack food or water. There was protests about electricity shortage and water shortage. But then these protests escalated so fast into people now protesting over the cost of living being too high and expensive, which they couldn't maintain anymore. It's something that President and his administration didn't look into because listen, African leaders, once they ascend to power, they tend to get power drunk. They won't listen to you that voted them, you that sent them in the office. They won't listen to you. It has a capital city called Antananarivo. The president, as we are talking now, as we are speaking, fled the country using the help of French military. All this happened after a special unit of the military, CAPSAT, stepped in and said no to shooting of the public because the police was being used. Remember, African police units are always used to man protests, end up using excessive force. There were reported 25 cases of deaths by the UN, by the United Nations. A statement which was later debunked by the president, Rajoelina, that there are only 12 deaths of people shot during the protest, and those shot were looting public and personal property during the protest because the protesters says or claim the numbers are way high than those being put in media. There should be an independent body to look into this whole matter or this issue and get to see or get to give us the exact numbers of those lost during the protests. Remember, there's always kidnappings, there's always abductions, there's always arrests and the shootings and the injuries. So we need to get a full scope or a full number of all the people involved, be it kidnapped, abducted, arrested, or shot or injured, all of those. So we need all those numbers. CAPSAT is a special unit in the military, and it helped the president in 2009 to rise to power. Yes, to rise to power because it's way popular over there, and it's the same unit that is no longer obeying him or adhering to his requests of shooting civilians or blocking civilians from entering the capital to protest, which is, I guess, their civil rights. Any country where the military is split, of course, this is only one unit of the military, which means there are other units of the military that are still maybe supporting the administration of the day. Are they going to support the public, or are they going to support the administration and enforce its rules upon the people, upon those protesting due to the cost of living, shortage of water, shortage of power, shortage of food, and at large the cost of living at large, which is a major problem in Madagascar. Remember, it's as I said, is one of the most poor countries in the world. Now, after the president fled the country, he posted a video where he said he was still in charge of the country. Said he was still in power. Remember, a few days ago, he named a prime minister, who didn't sit well with the military and the opposition, and which I think added stress to them. And remember, so after President Andry Rajoelina fled the country, he posted a video where he claimed he won't resign. We saw also the African Union claim that they won't support and constitutional power shifts or power shifts. So which is the way? Is the president going to resign or will he wait until he is impeached? Because the opposition has already tabled a motion against him, which will be discussed in the parliament or in the house to impeach him legally. They wanted to do it legally to avoid certain issues arising. My big question is, will he step down? And will the deaths be investigated independently? Because these are people, these are daughters, these are sons, these are fathers, sisters, mothers, cousins. These are people, real people that have been lost. If we are going to follow up issues related to human rights in all countries around the world, we need to focus more on protecting the people. When I say people, I mean both the forces, that is the military, the police, all the force units, and the people. All lives do matter. Now, here comes my most infamous discussions. So, dear African leaders, or dear Madagascar, after this happens, if at all the president will get impeached legally, as they claim, what will happen? What happens next? Who comes in power, or who goes in the place where the president was? Who are you going to elect? Will he do the same thing? Will he do better? You've watched your GDP. Has it been adding up numbers, or has it been drastically going down? What plans do they have? Because you won't have a leader come from nowhere. There are leaders you've seen grow in chambers of power. You've seen them grow. So you've been noting their growth, their performance in the sectors they were working. When you take a leader out of power, don't replace them with another similar leader. As I said, African leaders are power hungry, and the power gets to their head. Once you get them to office, they forget even you that put them in power. Yes. So you need to be very keen on who you put in office next. This will define the future of your neighboring countries, of Africa as a continent at large. Imagine a country where water is scarce, there's power shortage, and the economy is a flop. That's a huge problem. And we've seen a series of protests around the world. People might not be noticing the trend, but the leaders need to understand that the way they used to lead, the way they used to do their business is no longer the same. It won't remain the same. They won't have to arrest people because they said you are not working as we thought you would. They won't keep abducting citizens simply for protesting or airing their views about the performance of those leaders, of those respective leaders. We've seen what was happening in the United Kingdom, in the UK, what happened in Nepal. There's so many things going on in the world right now that we just need to tap in and be in the moment. Be aware of the situations, be aware of the environments, be aware of what is really going on. If leaders can't evolve with us, dear African presidents, what is it? I thought once you serve your people at least 2-3 terms, you get to achieve. You can't tell me if you can't achieve whatever you needed to achieve as a president or as a leader of a nation in 2 terms. You can't tell me you will achieve anything else. Even in 50 years, we've seen cases of certain African presidents. They've been in power ever since their countries gained independence, up to date. And the countries have not developed as per the expectations. And when you put them against the resources, the natural resources they have in their respective countries, they need to have developed to a certain level, but they haven't, because these leaders are greedy, these leaders are self-centered, and they take the resources to themselves. They have made so much money, and so many companies They've developed so many companies in their names that they use to do public businesses regarding the government jobs. Dear African presidents or dear African leaders, times are changing. If you don't perform, you won't stand a chance. If you don't perform or if you don't do whatever you promise or whatever you tabled, that's not a promise. What you promise is like an agreement. You said, I'm signing, I'll do this and this and this. Once I get to power, please vote me in. These people vote you in, and then once you get to power, you get power drunk. You don't listen to your people anymore. You're like, no, I'm the president. I can do this and this and this. If anyone talks, I'll abduct them. I'll send our special teams, special ops to abduct them, to detain them, to do blah, 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 blah. So, times are changing. And if you don't listen to your people in your respective countries, I don't know what other countries are going through the same, unless I do an investigation, but in your respective countries, dear leaders, if you don't listen to your people, if you don't give in to your people's demands, which are meant for the growth of the economies, you won't last in power, and you can't be in power. Those times are gone where leaders used to stick to power till they can't walk anymore. Madagascar has been allies with the French, or France for all this while. What has it benefited? It's time to start going back to the drawing board. If we have been in business for, let's say, 30 years or 20 years, and there's nothing that has come out of the union, then there's no need to proceed. There's no need to go any further. Instead, the relationship need to be cut short, because I'm very sure one nation is benefiting more than the other. That's exactly what happens in business. One party is clever than the other party. So the clever party, it's obvious, the clever party is the one that benefits a lot, because these other party can't think, can't see the vision, they can't see the future. I can't use their resources, their readily available resources, to better themselves. So it waits on this other party to take the resources, go develop themselves, then come with the remainder to develop you. It won't happen. Times have changed. Times have changed. Even the countries that you colonized Africa, the resources they took are no longer that much. So they still need more. So they are looking for ways of coming back and taking more. So these are some of the loopholes. You escape your country as a president. Reason, you don't want to listen to your people. Where are you going? You're going to a French country. You're going, using French military to flee your country while you have your own military. What does that show? What picture does it show? You are not serving your people. You are serving some other party. You are serving another country and not your people. It's like you were elected by the French. So, dear African leaders, if you don't focus, if you don't see the future, if you can't see the vision, times are changing fast. Times are really changing fast, and the people you used to oppress, the people you used to arrest and torture, are no longer there. They are old. What you have in the streets right now are the young youths, and most of them are jobless. Situations created by you, leaders. You are taking all the resources, all the job opportunities, and giving them to your own people, and leaving these youths unemployed. What do? Ladies and gentlemen, I won't go past that. My name is Mojos Ke, and if you like the video, kindly hit the subscribe button. And remember, I said I promised, or I have plans to start live streaming of my sessions very soon. I'm preparing myself well financially to get an extra team because live streaming is quite costly, and I'll need a few other people and extra personnel on my team to help me with the production of this series that is going to come, because I want to do live streaming 12 hours every day. 12 hours every single day. My name is Mojos Ke, and thank you for watching. Thank you for viewing. Thank you for liking and commenting, and also for those who have subscribed. If you ever feel like you need to support me more, there's the join button. You can become family by joining as a member. There are parks there. Choose a park that you are comfortable with, financially. Gauge your finances, then choose which one you're comfortable with, so you can become family.